And boom, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome in to CobraCast 199. I am your host. I'm making sure everything's working right now. So yeah, I've been waiting all day for this damn interview to drop so we could react to it live. So that's what we're going to do. I'll give everybody time to get in here. We'll get this party started. But I've also been suspended from Twitter. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. My Twitter account, I am locked out of my Twitter account. I can't tweet. I can't retweet. I can't like tweets. I can't do anything because Disney Star Wars, apparently I was mass flagged. I have no idea. But the picture of the two porn stars scissoring, which is not even nude, they're not nude, by the way, that I posted on the Disney Star Wars account that they hid, that's what they flagged me for. So I've been locked out of my Twitter account. Free speech, I guess, going on at Twitter. I guess it's all about free speech unless you're making fun of Disney Star Wars. So yeah, all that praise of Elon Musk, and here I am locked out of my Twitter account for making fun of Disney Star Wars. It is what it is, I guess. So you can, I'll even show you guys right here if I can find it. Let's see here. Let's see. Come on, hurry up. Come on, Twitter. Here we go. There's my account right there. Your account is locked. After careful review, we've determined your account broke the X rules. Your account is temporarily in read-only mode, which means you can't post, repost, or like content. Most accounts regain full access in a week, but it could take longer. So there we go, right there. So Twitter will actually allow porn, full-on porn, but I can't post a meme to make fun of Disney Star Wars. It is what it is. But that's not why we're here today. We are here today to talk about do a reaction to the Logan Paul Donald Trump interview, which just dropped over on his Impulsive channel. And I'm really interested to hear what Donald Trump has to say. I'm not a fan of Logan Paul at all, but I am at least interested to hear what type of questions Logan Paul is going to ask him. It's a 53-minute video. So we're going to react to that here in just a minute. Celluloid Dream says, Jeremy is a cool guy. We know you're lying right now, Celluloid Dream. Paul Stella says, great to see Jeremy Seinfeld live. George Tiki says, hello, Jeremy. I hope that Firefox tip helped. I haven't checked it out yet, but I will. Thank you. Josie Pureblood gifted a D-Day Cobra membership. The Sausage King. I got that smoky smoke, extra thick, extra long. Come and get it before it's gone. Parker says, Jeremy is the queen of gays. Thank you. Yeah, I hope Rumble does get gifted memberships in the near future. That would be great. We're live on Kick. We're live on Rumble. We're live on YouTube. We can't be live on Twitter because my Twitter account, I'm locked out of it right now. I can't do anything because I was mean to Disney Star Wars. But with that said, I think we got to jump right into it. James Opp says, I wonder if my Star Wars The Rise of Lesbians meme will get me banned. I think I was mass flagged. I think I was mass flagged. But so again, that's the only way. The only thing to battle against this is to, you know, make them aware of it. So it's just absolute bullshit. There's young Rippa in the chat. What up, Rippa? Hail to the 199. All right, so I think we got to get this party started, ladies and gentlemen. The Donald Trump interview. G&G Play Moment says, Jeremy, this is the account from Daily. Just wanted your blessing on a project, but now that you're locked out of Twitter, maybe you can't see the DM. I can see DMs. I just can't respond to them. So Grant for a member message says, I hope Trump asked Logan for a bottle of cred. Hail to the 199. All right, you guys ready? You guys ready? Here is the Donald Trump Logan Paul interview. Again, I am not a fan of Logan Paul at all, but this will be a very interesting interview to hear because you know Logan Paul is going to ask different questions than anyone else would ask. So we're going to jump right into it. Let's get this party started.
Biden is just so bad. He's the worst president in the history of our country.
You should make a diss track on him.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Do you think that you're starting to soften your views on some of the networks that you may have not gotten along with in the past?
No, they're fake news.
You had a street fight this past week.
And how did it work out?
How you think, Mr. President?
I think he probably did pretty good. I've watched enough of you fighting.
Unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
It's very possible. Really powerful stuff. AI. They made a commercial, me promoting a product, and it wasn't me. And I said, did I make that commercial?
Rap beefs. Big rap beef just happened. Drake or Kendrick?
It'd be interesting to see if Logan Paul actually, I don't know if he's going to, I've got to make this transformative, so I'm going to stop and comment and make reactions and things like that. Obviously, the people that are here watching this they're here for my commentary on the Logan Paul podcast, so they're here for my commentary. But if you want to go watch the full interview uninterrupted, you can go over to the Impulsive channel. So I just wanted to let everyone know about that.
Be great.
I think so too,
Looking
Mr.
forward
Trump.
to this all my life. My whole life. Anyway, hi fellas, how you doing?
How are you, boss?
How's your brother? Good?
Yeah, he's excellent.
You have a good relationship with him, right?
With Jake?
Yeah.
We do now. But it's not always been like that.
It's always been, yeah, I can imagine.
But it's my
But
brother.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Taylor Tyson, we got.
Yeah, right?
Who you got?
When is that gonna be?
November. It got rescheduled.
Well, look, Mike was fantastic, but, you know, Mike's a little older now.
Yeah.
And you guys can fight.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, but you guys can really fight, legitimately fight.
Thank you, sir.
At first I said, it's so amazing because I always thought like a UFC guy or a top, even contender would be able to win at 75 years old.
You think?
But it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
The clock is still the clock.
Yeah. I figured that out with Floyd as well.
Yeah, how about that, right?
I don't know.
I mean, it was even.
Yeah, which
You would
shouldn't
have
make...
thought he would have won that fight.
That's what I thought.
That was your baby.
Some
right?
people still think he did win
This
that
is for you
fight.
guys.
Yeah, so apparently he does get more time. I don't know how much Logan Paul adds to it, but I mean, this says it's 53 minutes, which shockingly he's getting more time than Tim Pool, which, listen, again, I'm going to repeat this 1,000 times. I do not like Logan Paul at all. I can't stand Logan Paul. But this is good for Trump because it's going to get him out there to the normie crowd that normally wouldn't listen to what he's got to say. The clips are going to go out there, all of that. So this is good. Tim Pool's good too, and he should have given Tim Pool more time. I've said this already. I think he should go on Timcast for the full 2 hours and do the live stream. That would be phenomenal, and maybe he will do that.
Oh, no way. We got gifts.
Sells for a lot of money, this thing.
Oh, no way. Thank you, President.
Just split it up. Here's
Oh, amazing.
something for you. This is
Is this your mugshot?
yeah. Can you believe it?
You're a gangster.
This is what we're reduced to. You know,
No way.
Should we put him on now?
That's
Is it crazy?
That's
And
amazing.
it sells. Well, Elvis had one. Frank Sinatra had one.
This shirt?
But we've eclipsed them. A long time ago, we've eclipsed them.
This is crazy.
It's pretty cool. Isn't it cool?
I have to be honest, I'm
It's
jealous.
actually, I'm not sure if I love it or not, but
No, it's
it
good.
is what it is.
It happened, and might as well monetize it.
Well, Mr. President, people surely love it. They love the picture. They rallied behind it. They're rallying behind you now.
Well, they
More
are.
than ever.
And we had the biggest fundraising, I think, ever for any candidate ever anywhere in the world in the last 8 or 9 days. In hundreds of millions of dollars. And too bad it couldn't have been done for other reasons, but they viewed the case as being so corrupt and so ridiculous. Every one of the legal pundits, and, they're great guys. When you look at Dershowitz, the whole group, that whole group of people, Andy McCarthy, Jonathan Turley, Greg Jarrett, every one of them, they came out and they said, there's not even a case here. There's no case. And when they saw the jury instructions, when they saw all the things that happened, and it's not like anybody's a friend of mine. Mark Levin is an example. They couldn't believe it. So unfair. It's a very unfair thing. And because of that, the fundraising numbers and the polls but the fundraising, that's sort of like a poll anyway, right? When you get right down to it. But the fundraising numbers went, I don't think there's ever been that much money raised that quickly.
You've become a martyr of
Hundreds of
sorts.
millions of
Yeah, it's
dollars.
insane. $140 million in May that you raised.
Just
35 million in just hours after the verdict.
Yeah, 58 million within a few hours, and that was in small donations, like $71 something average. And over a period of a week, we even went to San Francisco. Now, not supposed to be. That's the belly of the beast, right?
Rare
Supposedly.
visit.
I saw someone say Logan Paul backed all the BLM stuff. I'm surprised he's doing this. It's because Logan Paul doesn't actually believe in anything. Logan Paul will just absolutely jump on any opportunity he can. That's who he is. So he doesn't actually believe in anything. He's just an opportunistic person. That's just the truth of the matter.
But they had thousands of people on the street. It was so positive, and they raised $12 million. The tech guys at one of the houses, David, fantastic people, and they were like, they gave me a lot of money. They've never been into doing that. And I think it helps that Biden is just so bad. He is so bad. He is the worst president in the history of our country. So that helps too.
You should make a diss track on him.
Yeah, we'll do something. We'll do something.
I actually wanted to start there.
Go ahead.
Because one thing that I just can't seem to wrap my head around it is, you got these felony convictions and a lot of it, like more than Al Capone, right? And there was an uprising and people showed you their support with their donations. And a lot of people are saying it points out that actually the unjust nature of America's justice system. So
very unjust.
my question is, like, if that is your belief, if that is their belief, why do you have the desire to give your time and energy to a country or a system that's trying to take you down?
So I ran twice. I did much better the second time than the first time. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have done this. But we had it going like this country has never been going before. It was really good. Now it's really bad. The worst border in history, the worst inflation, I think, in history. I think the history of the country, the people are getting decimated by it. All very all something you can fix. You can fix it fast. We were energy independent. We're going to be energy dominant very soon. All these things were happening. And then we had a terrible result in an election. And what happened was disgraceful, and we can't ever let it happen again. But we have a little expression. It's right on that hat: "Make America Great Again," and we can do that. Make America great again. And this guy's not going to do it. This guy's destroyed our country. When you allow 15, 16, 17, they have no idea what the gotaways. Million people coming out of jails, coming out of mental institutions, insane asylum. The insane asylums all over the world, the mental institutions, they're at the lowest levels. They've been at it for years. They're going to be totally empty. And you have terrorists coming into our country. We're going to be paying a big price, and we're going to solve the problem, and we're going to solve it relatively quickly. But we have other problems, too, with energy, with inflation. He's been a disaster as a president. He's the worst president we've ever had. The good news is he makes Jimmy Carter look brilliant by comparison. So Jimmy Carter's the only one that's happy with this.
Well, look, I think that's why a lot of people are so obsessed with you, Mr. Trump, Mr. President Trump. Well, because you're already a billionaire, right? You are essentially serving these people, and you don't have to be doing it. The president,
No.
being the president, seems like a very hard job. You were at 3 meetings just before this, but I guess I'm asking, like, the desire to run and attempt to improve your country for these things you're saying.
Yeah.
It comes from what? Just the love of the
Well,
country?
the people, I'll tell you, when you look at the people, when you look at the crowds, I did a rally in New Jersey. We had 107,000 people there. You saw that last week. We did one in the Bronx. We had 25,000 people. And this was in the South Bronx, which is known as a rough area. And it was like a love fest. There was not even nobody even raised a voice of dissent. The whole place, it was like a big love fest. Nobody could believe it. You saw that 3-4 weeks ago. There's tremendous, our country.
Logan Paul does seem a little nervous, which is not, I don't think that's terrible. I mean, it is President Trump that he's sitting across from. So it's nice that at least he is humbled from that perspective. But ultimately, I just think that Logan Paul will probably say negative stuff about President Trump after the fact when he is in a certain crowd of people that don't like Trump. I think he will talk bad about Trump after the fact, after this interview, no matter how good this interview goes, no matter how good it is for Logan Paul. if he's in a situation where he's surrounded by people that don't like Trump, he will just shit talk Trump. 1,000%.
He has tremendous potential, but it's going down the tubes very, very rapidly. Nobody has ever seen anything like it, the way it's being run. So bad. And we can change it. We can change it quickly. We have a debate coming up. That'll be interesting.
June
That'll be-
27th,
yeah.
hosted by one of your favorite television networks, CNN.
Well, they gave me the option. They said, would you do it? And they didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. So they gave me everything. Fake Tapper and
Fake Tapper.
lots of other people that were gonna, were involved on CNN. They wanted it to be seated, which I didn't like. I said we should stand, and I think we won that point. But I would have agreed to whatever I had to agree to because they didn't want to do it. They thought that I wouldn't do it because it's CNN, but I've done plenty of CNN. I did a town hall not so long ago with CNN that worked out well. But I think they'll be fair. I think they're going to try and be fair. I mean, as fair as they can be. But I think it's important for there to be a debate. So they said, "You want to debate?" Yep, I'll accept. You don't even have to tell me. Then they said CNN. They said the different people that are involved. But let's see what happens. I used to get along with Jake Tapper. We'll see what happens. But it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it is.
That sentiment that CNN might be fair to you
They might be.
is a bit of a departure
I'd
from
say
your
a good
normal
10% chance.
from your normal hardline stance. Do you think that you're starting to come around or soften your views on some of the networks that you may have
Chance.
not gotten from your normal in the past?
No, they're fake news.
Yeah, fake news.
No, they're so bad. One of the good terms, right? Fake news. But no, I don't think so. I thought maybe, I had one with Caitlin Collins about 4 or 5 months ago. It was one of the highest rated shows they've ever had. And I really thought they were going to go maybe sort of in the middle. But I was wrong about, as I'm getting on and I'm hearing the way I'm being announced, they said, hey, these people are playing hardball. They're making a big mistake. But the ratings for this debate, I guess, will be quite good.
Massive. Are you
think
surprised by his
be.
decision to face-to-face with you?
You mean the fact that they're willing to do it?
That Biden's
A
willing
little
to do
bit.
it?
They didn't want to do it. They thought I turned CNN down. Look, CNN is the enemy. And they thought I was going to turn CNN, and Tapper is, one of the guys that, when I'm making a speech, so they're waiting for the nomination for months and months. I got it in the quickest fashion. Nobody's ever gotten a nomination so quickly. And I'm making my nomination speech, and they refuse to put it. They're covering it for months and months. Now I'm actually making my speech. I mean, this is the big night. I won the nomination, and they refuse to put it on. These are people that don't like Trump. But it's okay, because I think it's important to have a debate, or a number of debates, actually.
The fact that you are so vocal as well, especially on social media, I think works in your favor. And personally, I like that you come with receipts sometimes.
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
you pull them out of your,
No, I
your
understand.
jacket. Will you have receipts?
I like to do it.
Well, fact checking's fun.
Yeah, I know. We'll check. We're gonna check a lot of things. It's gonna be an interesting. You will be watching, right?
I'll be watching. for
We
sure.
just don't want to schedule it around one of your fights.
Please
because
don't. Please
you
don't.
do pretty well.
Thanks. I'll be watching. Yeah, I always see you at
So
UFC.
do you have? By the way, do you ever fight your brother?
That's the question.
you want to know something?
I want to know.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
because
right.
you are both good. Do you ever fight him?
Thank you. I not in real life.
You
no.
practiced a little bit
Never.
with him, right?
We've never even sparred.
Really?
We don't know. I think
Well, did you beat him up your whole life?
I
growing
didn't.
up?
I punched him in the face once because he took my glasses. But I was willing to step in for Mike Tyson when Tyson got sick and had to postpone his fight. And we actually ran it up the chain at Netflix.
It's hard for brothers to fight, though. I think it's hard.
Not on
I've seen
Netflix
it over
for a
the years,
big
you know.
old bag.
Yeah,
Figure
there
it
have
out
been
once and
some,
for
though.
all.
I think it's. You don't think so? You love your brother.
Well, me and Jake decided that obviously, we both come from a place of love, and whatever the outcome would be, we'd have to be okay with it. But obviously, I love my
No, but
brother.
the shots to the face and
just one time though, for the rest of history. That night goes down forever. The Klitschko brothers never did it.
No, they never did it, and they were both good, and they
Yeah.
never did it. They were very good, but in fact, nobody really figured out maybe who was better. They've had.
So 12 minutes in, Logan Paul has no idea what to ask Trump so far. Maybe he's just prepping him. Maybe he's just kind of preheating the oven a little bit. But it's clear that this point in time, if I'm just judging it based on what I've seen so far, Logan Paul really has no idea what to ask Trump, clearly. Now, we'll see if it, like even the diss track comment was just stupid. You should make a diss track on Joe Biden. What a stupid thing to say. It's not, come with some actual substance here. You know what I mean? Come with some substance.
They had some good fights. They were tough, right?
Yeah.
They
Well,
were tough.
Jake's tough and he's good, but I'm
He's,
one to know.
he's very good, and you're very good.
Thanks.
He had a street fight this past week against somebody from a squad you may know as the
tell me.
from the Nelk Boys.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
When you
one-
said you had it out with them?
An actual street fight.
But a friendly one or an unfriendly one?
Oh, it was pretty unfriendly.
Yeah,
I
it
was
not
there.
friendly. I would call it a waiver fight. I had
They
to
have
try
a
to-
great following, though. They're nice guys.
We love them.
They have such a. You do. Good,
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad because
Yeah.
I'm getting myself into a position here. They really are. They did. Dana White, who's fantastic.
for sure.
He said, "Would you do the Nelk Boys?" I didn't know who they were. I did it, and they have a tremendous audience, which you can
Ferocious.
Yeah.
tell right away. I did Dr. Phil the other day.
I saw it.
Yeah, he was
Amazing.
great.
We,
No,
we
he
love
was
the Nelk Boys, by the way. The Nelk Boy we're talking about is like it's kind of like
His
an
name's
ant-
His name's Bradley Martin. He's a big fitness
Right.
guy because we know Kyle Forgard, Kyle,
Right.
and John Shahidi for
Right?
years
Abs-
now.
They're
But
great.
Bradley's this big 260-pound, bodybuilder, and for years he's called people out. I'm 260. I'm 260. I'll fight you, and got into it with Logan.
And how did it work out?
How you think, Mr. President?
I think he probably did pretty good. I've watched enough of you fighting.
It was off camera. It was cool. It was like a duel, like a good old fashioned,
Yeah.
just boys being boys,
Was
no cameras.
It was a real deal.
The real deal.
And
No rules.
was he finished?
He quit.
He did.
He quit. Yeah.
Dude, look, it's so pathetic how Logan Paul has Prime energy drinks all over the place. Mike has his book propped up. This is so I hate this interview so far. Trump's carrying the interview, by the way. These guys are not here for any substance so far. 13 and a half, or almost 14 minutes into this interview, and these guys have done nothing, but they've got all their shit plastered everywhere.
We were very impressed with him, actually.
He showed up.
He has no combat sports experience.
Yep.
Stepped up
So
to
he just
somebody
had he had muscle, but not the. Not
Yeah.
the
Yep.
just no training.
Yeah.
Just no training.
You ever been in a fist fight, Mr. President?
Probably not. I've been like little duels, nothing like that. I mean, I'd like to say, yeah, I fought my way through school.
Right.
I fought my way out of the Wharton School of Finance. We didn't have a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
We have fighters, but not that kind of fighters. But I've had a lot of fun. I'll tell you, we had a great time. Over the years, I've been very much involved with Mike Tyson. Mike is a great guy. My son, I have a beautiful boy, Barron, and he loves Mike Tyson.
Big boy. Big boy.
He's huge.
He's a big boy.
Somebody in the chat said, Trump, KH says Trump is speaking to them like they're his grandkids' friends. Yeah, he really is. But the fact that Trump keeps looking over to, I guess, his people, I don't think I've seen Trump do that in an interview in this type of setting. He keeps looking over. I don't think Trump is totally a fan of this format.
Boy, 6'9".
6'9".
6'9",
Oh, my
yeah.
PDF's at 6'7".
And I couldn't get him to play basketball. He plays soccer. He's a good athlete too. Good student.
Big
good
boy
athlete.
for soccer.
But he's 6'9".
It's insane.
Good-looking guy, but he is a tall one. There's no question. I say, Barron, I don't want to take a picture next to you. It's
Neither do we.
Crazy. We ought to make him a fighter, maybe.
No, I don't want.
Guys, it's 2024. We want to spend less to save more. That's just a fact. But
All right, we're not letting you. Fuck you, Logan Paul. You're too much of a piece of. You scam too many people. I'm skipping through it. I usually respect the grift, not with Logan
See you
Paul.
at the UFC fights.
Yeah.
So you're obviously a fight fan.
I like it. I really enjoyed it. I think Dana White is one of a kind.
For
He's
sure.
and he's been generous to me. He's made a great statement about me the other day. He
I
said-
saw that.
That was a nice statement.
Well, because
but I
you've
said-
had his back for.
Well,
since-
I did, and rightfully. I think, the expression, everybody's replaceable, I'm not sure anybody could do. The job he does is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He gets, I met Khabib, who's
I saw that.
29-0, and his father died, and he just said, that's it for me. And, his father was great at what he did, and probably he never lost even a round. I think 29-0, they say he never lost a round. And I thought he was great. And we got to speak. He was just about my favorite guy and really talented. The Strickland was fantastic the other night. I thought he was He
Great
was
striker.
He was.
Everyone wants to come out of the cage and meet you after they
They
win.
do.
And
Yeah,
when-
they
and when
do.
you-
I'm very honored by it. Every time they win, they jump out.
Yeah.
They jump out of that cage like it's nothing. I don't know. It's pretty high, but they have no problem.
And when you enter the arena, there's an eruption of cheers.
Yeah.
But I remember, because I've been going to UFC for a while, like it wasn't always like that. There was a very clear like shift in the perception of you. Do you feel like you feel that now more than ever?
I don't know. You know, I've done it in Vegas, Miami. I do it with Dana. Dana wants me to do that, and I do it. And it is an eruption. He said like he's never heard before. They actually stopped a fight. One of the fighters were walking out, and there's a fight going on, and these guys are really going at it, and they heard this crazy sound, and they stopped the fight. They both stopped fighting. They're looking over what happened. They probably thought bad things were happening to the arena. But no, it's been great, and he is just somebody you have to really respect. I imagine you guys do, but he gets these fighters from all over the world, and they are some really talented people, and I have respect for fighters. When you can take 200 shots to the face and then look forward to the second round.
Yes.
It's interesting. A lot of wrestlers want to do the UFC thing, but they can't take the shots because they're wrestlers. I've been with a lot of
18 minutes in, almost 19 minutes. This is a terrible interview. Trump is the only interesting piece to this interview so far. I am not engaged. I am not enjoying this so far. We still have, 30 minutes to go or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here. But at this point in time, this is a horrible interview. In terms of, it's just, they're shooting the shit, which is totally fine. But the fact that Logan Paul and Mike have their bullshit plastered all over the fucking tables and the Prime Energy drinks and all of that, it's just annoying because it seems like they're just there to promote. That's it.
and because at the White House we honor the national champion wrestlers and tennis players and sort of everything. We have these, but speaking to the wrestlers. Some of them, there's somebody named Bo Nickel who I think is going to be great. He's a fighter.
Fantastic.
He was a All-American, I think probably 4 years. I'm not even sure. He went to Penn State, and he's phenomenal as a fighter, and you'll be watching him. But he doesn't mind. If he gets hit, he doesn't mind. Some people don't want that.
Speaking of conflict and fighting, since you left office, the number of global conflicts has skyrocketed. And I
Yeah,
know
it's
Khabib
terrible.
talked to you about it quickly
Here we
when you
go.
spoke with him.
Here we go.
I think 2 weeks ago about President Biden authorized the use of American weapons in Russia, which has now led to a fleet of Russian warships coming towards Cuba this week. What are your thoughts and concerns around our current handling of our relationship with Russia?
Well, the Russian attack on Ukraine would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. It's just a shame. So many dead people. You look at just the soldiers. It's 500,000 soldiers between the both countries. But so many dead people, so many towns and villages and buildings and magnificent culture just being wiped out. You okay over there?
Stuff's falling
Yes,
over.
sounds good. Nice book, by the way. Nice book.
That's
We'll
his
get to
book.
that.
That's his book
Mine,
about,
yeah,
about
it's-
overcoming
let's
drug
promote it.
addiction.
It's a bestseller about the opiate epidemic, which
Oh,
we'll
that's
talk
good.
about.
Wow,
after.
that's a great topic because it's so sad to see what's happening. So bad, but it's a shame because it never would have happened. And it didn't happen during my 4 years. It didn't happen. It wouldn't have happened. I got along very well with Putin. I got along with Zelensky, but it wouldn't have happened. And October 7th would have never happened. And inflation would have never happened. And the withdrawal, the kind of withdrawal, we were getting out of Afghanistan with dignity and strength, but to get out the way, I think it was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And I actually think that the way Afghanistan worked, I think that when Putin looked at that, he said, wow, let's go in. And you know who else looked at it? President Xi of China. And he is looking at Taiwan and he's drooling. He's drooling over Taiwan. And so something could happen there. We've lost a lot of respect. They're laughing at us all over the world. And that wasn't happening 4 years ago.
And with you back in office, you think we'll get that respect back?
Yeah, we'll get it back. We'll get it back.
It
What's
already
your
happened,
relationship like
Logan.
with Vladimir Putin?
It already
I think
happened,
very
Logan.
good, but I was tough with him. I ended the pipeline. He built, it's called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2 until I got involved. And it was the biggest project ever done in Russia. I mean, this was a pipeline that was going to supply oil and gas to all over Europe, Germany in particular. And I said, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to Germany? I said, we're defending you under NATO, and you're paying billions of dollars a month to Russia. You mean we're defending you, and you're giving the people we're defending you from, we're giving.
Somebody said, why is Logan interviewing him? Because Logan Paul has a mega following on social media, and this is good for Donald Trump. It's good for Trump to get out there to an audience that otherwise probably would not pay attention to him. While it's hard for even me to understand that Logan Paul actually has a massive fan base and a massive amount of influence. He actually does. It is hard to process that. It's hard to understand that because I don't know how anybody's a fan of Logan Paul, but the man has tens of millions of followers on social media on every platform, and everywhere he goes, he creates attention. And so Donald Trump being on his show will get millions and millions of views just on YouTube, but it'll also get tens of millions of views on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. And so it's going to be good for Trump to have him out there so people can see him in a different light.
The defense, but you're giving them money at massive amounts. Probably the biggest project, most important, one of the most important projects they've ever done. I ended it. It was dead. It was gone. And then this guy comes in and he approves it, but he kills Keystone. The Keystone XL.
Yep.
So it's sad. But Putin said to me, it's the biggest thing. You ended it. You ended the pipeline. He said, they all say you and I are friendly, but I'd hate to see you as an enemy. But this was the biggest, this was massive amounts of money and everything.
But that's how
else.
you
But
talk to him
Biden
like
came
that?
in, huh?
You talk to him like that?
Oh, no, I had a very good relationship. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. And I'm trying to tell people, no, it's a good thing. They've got, I would give you the exact number, but they gave a lot, just under 2,000 nuclear weapons, and we do also. And when you have nuclear weapons, and even if you don't have nuclear weapons, getting along is good, but be the tough one, be the smart one, get along is good. I tell the press all the time, no, the fact that I get along with Kim Jong-un, North Korea.
That's crazy.
President Xi.
That's crazy.
It's all good stuff getting along, but nobody ever took money out of China like me. I took hundreds of billions of dollars out in the form of tariffs and taxes. No other president took not 10 cents. And, China built their military because of the United States. The United States was giving them hundreds of billions of dollars a year in excess flow. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. But we took out hundreds of billions of dollars from China, and I still got along with President Xi until COVID. That was a breaking point. But no, but he was a guy that I respected. He liked me, and I liked him. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. The press says, "Oh, isn't it?" You say, "Yeah, he's a leader. He's a smart guy." They say, "Smart man." They say, "Oh, Trump said he was smart." He leads 1.4 billion people. It's a little bit on the smart side. But I got along with him. I got along with Kim Jong-un. That would have been a nuclear war. If Hillary Clinton had gotten in office, we would have been in a nuclear war with North Korea. He was ready for it. When I was with him, nobody else could meet him. All of a sudden, the dam broke, and we started talking a little bit. We got together, as you know, twice. Got along very well, but we were in no danger from them, and we were in serious danger before I got there. I'm telling you, you would have had a nuclear war if Hillary Clinton got in.
I'm so curious, what this conversation with really powerful world leaders looks like behind closed doors. Is it candid, or do you exercise grace, or you talk like boys?
Everyone's different. No, but everyone's different.
That's a good question, actually.
When you're
That's a good question.
talking to people, when you're doing interviews with people, when you're fighting people, they're all different. You fight them a different way, you talk to them a different way, but everyone's different. But I had very good relationships with everyone. The funny thing is, I got along with the tough ones much better than I got along with the weak ones. You had some real weak ones too. I didn't get along with them as well. It's strange. Must be a personality defect.
It's probably a good thing.
Huh?
It's probably a good thing that you get along with
I get along with the tough
leaders of
ones.
the largest countries.
There's a very tough one, Viktor Orban, and he's the prime minister of Hungary. And he said that the reason the world is blowing up because Trump isn't president. When Trump was there, everybody respected Trump. He said was afraid of Trump. I don't want to use that term because that's, I don't want to say, oh, they were afraid, like a child would say. But they respected me. But he said everyone listened to Trump. They were afraid of Trump. They couldn't figure Trump out, and they all listened. And they did listen. And we had no wars. We had no nothing. I defeated ISIS, got rid of the biggest terrorists ever, maybe, or just about ever. But we defeated, think of that, we knocked out ISIS, 100% of the ISIS caliphate, and started no wars. I wasn't in any wars. Now, that I don't know how you may feel about that, because you're a warrior, right? Because all fighters, and you're a real fighter, by the way.
It's not good. It's not good. I don't shy away from conflict. My fiance has a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's not good. You're much more diplomatic than I probably would be.
It's very interesting, though. So Khabib came up to me after the fight the other night. And, you guys would probably say he's the best ever, maybe. And,
He's
certainly he probably is, and or very close, right? John Jones, a lot of people say.
I'd say 1 and 2.
And, and he said to me, oh, I hope you can get in because we have to stop the wars.
All right, update. The interview is flowing a lot better. Trump has stopped looking over at his people, if you guys have noticed. So I don't think Trump was uncomfortable at all. I just think he was like, what the hell? Is this a real interview? But they were kind of shooting the shit. And it was a nice, probably went on a bit too long, but it was kind of a nice preheating of the oven and preheating of the oven. Now that it's flowing, it actually feels a lot better from the beginning perspective. So the update is the interview is finally getting its footing now. And Trump does seem not, I don't want to say he was uncomfortable, but it's more like, what the hell are we doing here? But now it seems like he's flowing very well.
We have to stop the killing, the killing. He was so smart. He understood it. And I think he's friends or was friends, but I think he is friends with Putin very much.
Yeah.
But he said, we have to stop the killing, and it's true. And I think I'd have that war stopped if I was president-elect. Right after the election, if I win, I will get that war stopped. I'll get it stopped fast before I get to office. If it's not stopped before then.
Talking about Russia, Ukraine.
I'm talking about Russia, Ukraine. We'll get it stopped.
On the
so
flip
many
side,
people are being killed. Far more people are being killed. And I thought it was great when Khabib came up to me. He says, we've got to stop all of the killing in the world. He's a very smart guy, very interesting guy. We talked for a while.
On the flip side, or on the other side of the continent, the Gaza situation has been
horrible.
Big news over the past year or so. The United States has always been, and you were always a staunch ally of Israel. Has your sentiment on Netanyahu or on his regime changed at all in light of any of the events of the past 6 months?
No, look, it was a shame that it should have never happened. It would have never happened. Iran was broke when I was president. Nobody was allowed to buy oil. Nobody was allowed to buy anything. They were broke. A Democrat congressman on Deface the Nation, the show Deface the Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Deface the Nation, yes, commonly known as Face the Nation, but I don't call it that.
You have a name for
I think
it.
I have a name for everything. I'll end up with a name for you two guys by the time. But it'll be,
I can't wait to hear
No,
mine.
they'll be good names. They'll be good names. But so he was on the show and he said, whether you like Trump or not, Iran was broke during Trump's. They would have made a deal within 1 week. And now they have $250 billion. We would have had a deal done literally in 1 week after the election. And it was ready. They were absolutely, and they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They were broke, stone cold broke. Now they have $250 billion. Biden took off all of the sanctions. He let them go. China went to town. I told China, if you buy 1 barrel of oil from these people, you're not doing any business with the United States. They took a pass, no oil, and other countries likewise. And we would have had a deal. It would have been a great deal for everybody. We would have had a deal. Now they have $250 billion. They made it all in 3 years, 3.5 years. They made it all during this Biden term. I mean, he gave them $6 billion for 5 hostages, right? You saw that recently, a couple of months ago. $6 billion for 5 hostages. He made the swap. The Prince of Terror, they call him. He's the best arms dealer ever, they say. Who knows what that means, but he was a great arms dealer. For the basketball player that wouldn't stand up during the national anthem. She thought that was a good time to tie her sneakers. And that was not exactly the greatest trade, but
Logan
he gave
Paul
$6 billion.
is so scared. Logan Paul is so scared to smile at that comment. He is so scared. Watch.
Stand up during the national anthem. She thought that was a good time to tie her sneakers. And that was not exactly.
He wanted to laugh and he couldn't. He wanted to laugh. Come on, Logan. Fucking laugh about it.
She thought that was a good time to tie her sneakers. And that was not exactly the greatest trade, but he gave $6 billion on top of everything. $6 billion with a B. And they don't know what they're doing. And when you do that, you know, when you start paying that kind of money, a lot of other people are going to be missing all of a sudden. They're going to be missing and, hey, let's make a trade. And that's already happening. You just can't do that. I got 58 people out. We never paid any money. 58 people, 58 hostages. We never paid money. Because once you pay money, you're going to be doing a lot. In other words, you're going to keep doing it. So you can't do that.
This episode is sponsored by myself. I sponsored it myself. Primex, guys. We just so I do enter treasure match. Big deal to win a special Prime buy. Back to the show. Fortunate
It's Prime Energy drink. You guys all know that. So there you go.
Money in this country. Now hitting your favorite retailers. Back to the show. I want to ask about money. Money in this country.
Go ahead.
I've had a very fortunate career.
Yeah.
I've made some money. And
More money than you ever thought possible.
for sure.
Right?
For sure.
Yeah, I know the
Absolutely.
kind of money you make because I know when you have a top event and your shows, but these events are doing fantastically.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
you've done is incredible.
Yeah, I'm very blessed, and part of the reason that I believe I'm blessed is because of this country, and I think in a way I'm kind of living like the modern.
Is this the same country that you claimed was a racist country, Logan, back during the BLM riots? Is this the same country that you claimed was the racist country and that it's not enough to not be racist, you have to be anti-racist and all the white people have to call out all the other white people? Just wanted to ask that question.
Day American dream. You know, I had access to a phone and could start my business and reach the entire world on this device. So,
Excuse me, did you guys start like separately?
me and Jake?
Yes.
Nah, together.
Oh, you started together.
Together on YouTube.
And did you branch out? You each have your
Yeah,
own thing now?
well, eventually, because I went to college. Jake was still in high school. He ended up dropping out. I finished my first year.
It's an amazing 2 stories, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Who makes more money?
It depends on the year. It depends if Jake has
I want to
fights.
ask you a little question.
and it depends on when this sells, right?
Yeah. I think
Is that your new drink?
That was
and it-
that was a
it
rare
depends.
like look how Trump the laugh from Trump that's a very rare kind of view of Trump right there.
year.
It's an amazing 2 stories, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Who makes more money?
It depends on the year. It depends if Jake has
I want to
fights.
ask you a little question.
and it depends on when this sells, right?
Yeah. I think.
Is that your new drink? Oh, that's good. Oh,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
if,
yeah.
If you make it, I like it.
Oh, thank you,
wanna
Mr.
get-
President.
No, it's got to be good. It's got to be. Look, something's propelling him to fight world champions to a draw, right?
Yeah. We actually made this American
Oh, that's
Prime
beautiful.
special
Wow.
for this episode. It's a hydration beverage.
It's doing fine, doing well.
We did 1.2 billion last year.
That's
year,
great.
Year 2.
That's fantastic.
But I'm blessed to have even just be able to say that is insane. But my question is for other young people in this country who are looking to get ahead, because for a lot of them times are tough right
Yep,
now.
it's very tough.
What would you say to them, kids who want to pursue their own version of the American dream and try to achieve their wildest dreams and make it all come true?
I would say very simply, honestly, vote for Trump. Because with Biden, you're never going to get it. This country's going to hell. Vote for Trump. You know, we're doing great with youth. We're doing great with African Americans, with Hispanic Americans through the roof, both of those groups, with women, with men, and with young people, we're doing very well. But I say vote for Trump. If you don't have the right guy in the lead, the country's not going to, you know, if the country doesn't do well, it's much harder to do even what you do, okay? Even what you do. So that would be a simple message. I really mean it, actually.
The same opportunities he's had in America, I've had as well. My road has been a little bit rockier, as we were talking about in my book, The Fifth Vital. I spent 8 years addicted to heroin, living on the East Coast, in what I considered, you know,
Like you don't having an interview with the former president and soon to be president, like, it's your show and you're plugging your products while you're talking to him. It's such, I fucking hate these guys. I really fucking hate these guys.
I think a lot of people consider it to
So
be
you were addicted.
correct.
Wow.
I think a lot of people consider it to be the great opiate
Let me
epidemic.
see the book. Can I see the book?
Absolutely.
We're gonna make this sucker a best-selling book.
There's a message. There's a
Now
message.
Trump's on the
It's
charm.
such an important.
It's actually
Where's
already
my camera?
it's already a
There. Go
best-selling
out and
book.
buy this book. It's great.
That was for you, I believe.
I wrote a message to you in
Good.
there. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
It's-
keep it.
Thank you
but
so much.
it's such an important topic. Yeah, seriously, that's so important.
There's a lot of people that are still kind of wrapped up in that world, and I just want to
Yeah.
ask you some questions. And,
And what sucks is Trump doesn't know. Neither one of these guys actually will fully support Trump. Like I know Mike, for instance, has talked about Trump, and we all know Logan with the like, if you're white, you have to condemn racism because being white is you have white privilege and all that bullshit. So these guys don't believe in anything, which again, I don't care. I'm happy that has the platform and he's talking to them. It's just that they're just both so slimy.
2023, the DEA sees more than 80 million fentanyl-laced fake pills, 12,000 pounds of fentanyl powder. There's so many people out there on the streets right now without access to resources with mental health care, rehabilitation centers.
Yeah.
What's your plan to continue to stem the flow of fentanyl into the country, as well as help the people who have already fallen victim to the opiate epidemic?
So when I took over, it was drug infested. When I ran in 2016, I ran on the border. And I fixed the border, and I couldn't even use it in 2020 in the campaign, even though I got millions of more votes than I got the first time. I couldn't talk about the border because I fixed it. And I'd say to my people, I want to talk about the border. I was proud of the job we did. We had it fixed. It was really in good shape. And drugs were at the lowest point in years. And, not only people, drugs, human trafficking, which is such a horrible thing. You think of it as like an ancient kind of a crime, and it's bigger now than ever before because of the internet. The internet has made a lot of these things much bigger than they have ever been. When you think of human trafficking, mostly in women, by the way, people don't know that, mostly in women, where they put them in trunks of cars, they have compartments. It's so horrible. And I had it down to to the lowest level, just about, I guess, in recorded times. So what you have to do is you have to be very tough on that. We had a deal on the fentanyl is pouring through. I bought millions of dollars worth of equipment. Believe it or not, they call it sniffing equipment, but believe it or not, the best thing to find it, you can spend millions of dollars on equipment and machinery to find drugs coming through, like, sort of finds it. The best thing is a German Shepherd born in a certain.
dog,
Do you know
for
that?
sure. No way.
Oh, they're unbelievable. They go right to it. It's not even, there is no machine. You spend
So we have 36 minutes of 53 minutes. I will say there's one at least up to this point, because I don't know if you guys remember when Trump did an interview with the Nelk boys. That was a few years ago. That video had, and somebody can look it up. I don't remember. I know it was the number one, like it had like tens of millions of views in like the first 24 to 48 hours. It was insane how many views it had just on YouTube, and YouTube took it down. YouTube took the video down after like 3 days, and I think they gave the Nelk boys a strike. And it's because Trump was talking about election fraud. Now, this is before they magically changed the rules. So the good thing here is that at this point in time, there's nothing in this interview that I see that can be deemed something that they can take it down for. Of course, they can invent new rules, as they always do. But at least from that standpoint, this interview, and right now, look at the like to dislike ratio. I mean, it's got 7,500 likes to only 109 downvotes right now. So overwhelmingly positive from Logan Paul's audience.
$2.5 million for machinery, and the dog is much better.
More dogs.
And we literally bred those dogs. It's a very specific type of German Shepherd from a certain part of the world. It's the most incredible thing. We worked very, very hard on that. I was with President Xi. It comes from China and it comes in through the southern. So Mexico's it comes through the southern border. And I was with President Xi, and I told you we got along great. The COVID was a step too far as I was concerned, but we got along great. And I said, "Do you have a drug problem?" He said, "No, they give the death penalty in China. If you sell drugs." I said, I'd like you to give the death penalty to people that are making fentanyl and sending it over to our country. And he was going to do that. And then we had the election result. And of course, Biden never picked up that conversation. I told them about it. But he was going to give the death penalty. If he did that, you would have had this literally stopped, almost stopped. But we have to be very, very strong at the border. This is a plague like, and you know the numbers, they'd say 70,000, 80,000. I think it's probably 250 or 300,000. This is like a war. There's rarely a war. I mean, how many wars were you losing? 300,000 people a year. And everybody knows a family. I know many families where their children die and they're not even addicted. They take a pill that's unrelated, and it's got a little bit of fentanyl. They say you can take the head of a needle, and you just put a piece on it, and that's enough to kill like 10 people. It is a really horrible thing. And I would have had China giving the maximum penalty. They would not have been sending it. And I had a deal worked out with President Xi, but of course, Biden didn't follow up, just like he didn't follow up on the Abraham Accords, which would have been a great thing to do. So we have to be very tough on the border, and that includes drugs as well as people, as well as people not coming in from jails and prisons and mental institutions, which is happening now at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's crazy. How can it be good? It's so bad. And I guess they're either stupid, which they're not, they hate our country, or they want to get these people for votes. A lot of people think that's the thing. They want to get them for votes. But the destruction, the damage that Biden's done to our country by having 16, 17 million people already in, it's much more than they say. It's probably 17. It could be even higher than that in our country. And these are not people that are going to make America great again. These are people that have a lot of issues. And we're going to have a lot of issues as long as they're here. And we're going to get them out. We have to get them out.
Mr. President, I got the 10-minute warning from the team, which is now 8-minute.
Let's let him go a little longer. It's fine. I like it. Is that okay? Yeah, let him go a little bit longer, okay? Look at these two guys. And then it'll turn out to be a lousy show, and I'll say, you were right, Jason. It'll be good. So go for another 20 minutes. Is that all right? Okay, good.
Thank you, Jason.
It seems to be a nice flow.
Yeah. Trump is now, I said it, he's working his charm, and he's winning the room now. So there you go.
Let's go.
Well, you did reality TV.
I'll be in trouble with my people. Like Biden says, I don't have that problem, but... Well, first of all, he would never. He couldn't do this interview. You asked him questions like this?
No, we were talking about that. We were like,
we'd like to extend the invite to Joe Biden if he'd like to come on this podcast.
Yeah, I think you should. You know what chance you have of getting him on? I'd say less than 1%. Okay, if you did that, it'd be interesting. I'd actually watch that one. Okay, see how long it lasted.
So there are two questions I have to ask.
Go ahead.
The first one's kind of fun. Aliens. I want to talk to you about aliens.
Yeah.
UFOs, UAPs.
I know.
The disclosure we've seen in Congress recently. It's confusing and upsetting a lot of Americans because there's something happening. There are unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
So it's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question. I've met with pilots that look just like you, actually. Okay, they have more of a crew cut. Okay, they look like him and they look like you. Some of them look like you,
a little fatter.
But these are perfect people, and they're not
crazy.
Conspiratorial. They're not crazy, and they tell me stories that they've seen things that you wouldn't believe. These are not people that you would say, "Gee, oh, that's okay."
Way. President of the United States.
But
I said,
really?
Who is it? That's Joe Biden wanting to do an interview. So I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say, there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there. And if you go to Nevada and you look at that little section of where they go to look at the aliens, where they think all the aliens are landing, that it's I think it's maybe the number one tourist attraction in the United States.
Roswell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roswell. I think it's the number one. It's the lines of people waiting. You have no idea how many times I'm asked that question.
But don't you have access to that information?
I have access, and I speak to people about it. I've had actually meetings on it, and they will tell you there's something going on. When they say things are going 4 times faster than my beautiful top-of-the-line airplane that goes, real fast.
With no identifiable propulsion
Mach
system.
2, right?
These things are creating their own gravity fields, allegedly.
Well, they have people that are very smart and very solid have said they believe there is something out there. And, it makes sense that there could be. I've never been convinced, even despite that. I just, for some reason, it's not my thing. But a lot of people believe that it's true. A lot of very good, solid people believe it's true.
What? And
I know there are illegal aliens out there, but those are the ones that come through the border. We have plenty of them. Those are the ones I know. When you say aliens, I say, are they illegal aliens? These might be illegal, but we don't want to test them because if they can go 4 times faster, we're not going to test them. So it's an interesting question.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there a chance that one of these orgs is potentially hiding information from you about aliens?
I guess so. It's you have the deep state, and you do have a deep state, and certainly they could. But I don't think on this subject. I was interested in it because I've been asked so many times, and I talked to people that have said that they've, it was a sighting, and it's very believable. It's very possible that there is something, and why wouldn't there be? You take a look at the universe and you see all of the different planets, and you see this. Look, here we are on one relatively small planet. Why wouldn't there be on a planet that's 400 times the size? Why wouldn't there be somebody? It's certainly believable to me.
The thought of it freaks me out. It's weird to think that we potentially are only the source of life in like an infinite, ever expanding universe. But technology.
But they'd never be able to take you in a fight.
No chance.
I'll bet on you.
No chance. Send me in.
I'll bet on you.
Send me in. Send me in, my brother. We'll handle it.
That's a good team.
And if we don't come back, I'm sure he will be happy about that too.
The two of you will come back and say hello. Say hello to him, by the way.
I will.
He's a great guy.
Maybe Elon could get you guys there. You a fan of Elon Musk?
I think Elon might be good for this question. He's a terrific. I looked at the ship that went up, the spaceship, and I never saw this before. I saw this is like 2 years ago. I see the motors coming down, the engines coming down, no wings, no anything, and then I say, what is going on?
Yeah.
And nobody ever saw that before. And if you didn't have him, you probably wouldn't be seeing it, And I called him, I said, what's that? He says, well, we want to be able to reuse the engines. I said, they don't have wings, they don't have anything, and they're landing on a platform in the middle of the ocean. I said, how cool is that? I thought I saw it all, but that was, no, he's a spectacular guy.
Well, I mean, between PayPal, Neuralink, Starlink, Tesla, SpaceX,
and other things.
Yeah, no, he's probably one of the greatest minds of our generation.
AI, very big. He's
That's
a big,
what I wanted to ask about.
Yeah.
It was the second question because technology is improving at a rapid pace.
That's right.
At a pace humanity's never seen before. And the most recent development in technology that is alarming but also cool is artificial intelligence, AI.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be eventually to a point where we're not able to tell what's real and what's fake. The era of truth, I believe, is probably slowly, unfortunately, coming to an end, unless you come with receipts. What do you think the government's role in enabling, protecting, or governing AI should be in general? Should this superpower become what we believe it probably will be?
Well, it is a superpower, and you want to be right at the beginning of it, but it is very disconcerting. I said, you used the word alarming. It is alarming when I saw a picture of me promoting a product, and I could not tell. The voice was perfect. The lips moved perfectly with every word. The way, You couldn't. If you were a lip reader, you'd say it's absolutely perfect. And that's scary in particular, in one way. If you're the president of the United States and you announce that 13 missiles have been sent to, let's not use the name of a country, we have just sent 13 nuclear missiles heading to somewhere, and they will hit their targets in 12 minutes and 59 seconds. And you're that country. And there's no way of detecting. You know, I asked Elon, is there any way that, like Russia or China, can say that that's not really President Trump? He said there's no way.
They'd have to rely on secondary first alert systems.
They have to rely on a code that if you don't have a certain code, who the hell's going to check? You got like 12 minutes. And let's check the code. Gee, how's everything doing? So what do they do when they see this, right? They have maybe a counterattack. It's so dangerous in that way. Okay, in another way, it's so incredible that what they do is so incredible. I've seen it. I just got back from San Francisco. I met with incredible people in San Francisco, and we talked about this. This subject is hot on their plates, you know, the super geniuses.
Yep.
And they gave me $12 million for the campaign, which, you know, 4 years ago, they probably wouldn't have. We had thousands of people on the streets. You saw it. It just happened this last weekend.
Yep.
I met with incredible people, actually. And this is what everyone's talking about with all of the technology. These are the real technology people. They're talking about AI. And they showed me things, but I've seen things that are so, you wouldn't even think it's possible. But in terms of copycat, now, to a lesser extent, they can make a commercial. I saw this.
Yeah.
They made a commercial, me promoting a product, and it wasn't me. And I said, did I make that commercial? Did I forget that I made that commercial? It is so unbelievable. So it brings with it difficulty, but we have to be at the forefront. It's going to happen. And if it's going to happen, we have to take the lead over China. China is the primary threat in terms of that. And you know what they need more than anything else is electricity. They have to have electricity, massive amounts of electricity. I don't know if you know that. In order to do these, essentially it's a plant. And the electricity needs are greater than anything we've ever needed before to do AI at the highest level. And China will produce it because they'll do whatever you have to do, whereas we have environmental impact people, and you know we have a lot of people trying to hold us back. But massive amounts of electricity are needed in order to do AI. And we're going to have to generate a whole different level of energy, and we can do it. And
Somebody sent a super chat that said Trump is showing his rhino side by liking these guys. With all due respect, that is a retarded take. You must not understand Trump. Trump likes whoever likes him. If somebody shows Trump respect, he's going to show it back. That's ultimately what's happened in this interview. These guys have been very respectful to Trump. They've been playful. They've been fun. They've given him entertaining questions. They haven't attacked him. He's used to being attacked constantly. So all he's doing is showing the respect that he's getting. He doesn't know anything really about Logan Paul or Mike. He doesn't know anything. All he's doing is taking them at face value. And he's responding in kind because that's what he does. He's a deal maker. He's a guy who will charm the room. And if you show him respect, he shows it back. It has nothing to do with being a rhino. That's a retarded fucking take. With all due respect, of course.
I think we should do it, but we have to be very careful with it, right? We have to watch it. But it's, you know, the words you use were exactly right. It's the words a lot of smart people are using. You know, there are those people that say it takes over the human race. It's really powerful stuff, AI. So let's see how it all works out. But I think as long as it's there, it's
plays out.
And that's just AI. What about when it becomes SI or super intelligence?
no. Then they'll have super AI, right? It's super duper AI. But what it does is so crazy.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Now, it can also be really used for good. I mean, things can happen. I had a speech rewritten by AI out there, one of the top people. He said, "Oh, you're going to make a speech?" Yeah. He goes, "Click, click, click." And like 15 seconds later, he shows me my speech
That's crazy.
written
That's crazy.
so beautifully. I said, I'm going to use this sucker. I'm going to use, I've never seen anything like it.
What'd you say to your speechwriter after that?
You're
You're
fired.
fired.
Yeah, I said, you're fired, Vince. Get the hell out of here. No. This was so crazy. It took it, and it made it unbelievable. And it's and so fast. It's you just say, I'm writing a speech about these two young, beautiful men that are great fighters and sort of great at a lot of things, and tell me about them and say some nice things, and period. And then that comes out. Logan in particular is a great champion. Jake is also good. See, I'm doing that only because you happen to.
I appreciate
No,
that.
but no, it comes out with the most beautiful writing. So one industry I think that will be gone are these wonderful speechwriters. I've never seen anything like it, and so quickly. A matter of literally minutes, it's done. So it's a little bit scary.
Well, as you said, let's see how this plays out. I did get the wrap
that?
it up because I do believe your team and I want to shoot a TikTok with you.
Oh, that's good. I'm on TikTok.
We
now.
saw your first video, 120 million views. It blew up.
We have a lot of views. I don't know how many, but it was a lot. We did it with Dana.
You went viral.
And we were sort of getting ready to walk into the arena, and there was a lot of crowd, and there wasn't a negative voice in the whole house. It was pretty amazing.
Let's do it again.
I want to respect your time. I'd like to just grab a couple photos, shoot this TikTok.
Absolutely.
120 million views on the way.
Absolutely.
But thank you for joining us on Impulsive, Mr. President.
It's an honor to be with you. You guys are great.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much.
And good luck with your book over here. That's important stuff. That's
you so
An
much.
incredible job you did to get out of it, right?
If you're ever bored on a plane to Tuscaloosa or something, you want to give it a
Oh,
read.
I'm going to be reading it. I think it's such an important one of the most important subjects, actually. It's great that you did it.
Thank you
Ladies
so
and
much.
gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode of Impulsive. With Donald Trump, Mr. President. We love you. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.
Nice.
Good job, fellas. Huh? Good. Oh, they're going to get big ratings on this show. But
All right. Now that it's over, and I can kind of like, I hate Logan Paul. I fucking hate Logan Paul. I can't stand this guy. Like when people say like, Jeremy, you hate Tim Pool. I don't hate Tim Pool. I actually think Tim Pool is really important and he's really good. I genuinely hate Logan Paul. I can't stand Logan Paul. He's a phenomenal WWE wrestler though. So listening to him and seeing his Prime energy drink surrounding them and them plugging things and seeing the dumb questions from Logan Paul, it clouds my judgment in the moment. Now that we're on the other side of it, I can confidently say that is a fucking massive win for President Trump. That entire interview with Logan Paul's audience is a massive win. And I'll give credit to Logan and Mike. Neither one of them pulled gotcha questions on Trump. They didn't even ask the typical NPC questions of Trump. I'll give them credit for that. And so Logan's audience, his massive audience, is going to watch this interview. And a lot of them are going to say, Donald Trump is a bad person. Donald Trump is mean. Donald Trump is horrible. Donald Trump hates black people. Donald Trump is, a dictator. And then they're going to watch this and they're going to see a very laid back, really charming guy who then with 20 minutes to go in the interview and it was supposed to be 10 minutes, he's like, let's give him a few more minutes. I like these guys. It's a massive win for Trump. This is a massive win. So even though I had problems all through it, once you get the full scope of it and you understand that this is for Logan Paul's audience, it's a huge win. It's a huge win. So there we go right there. I'm happy that it happened, and I will give a genuine congratulations to Logan Paul, even though I think he's a literal piece of shit. Now, when I said that Trump doesn't know who Logan Paul is, I'm not saying he doesn't know who Logan Paul is. I mean, he doesn't know about Crypto Zoo, okay? He doesn't know that Logan Paul is an absolute scam artist, okay? He doesn't know about all of the lies. He doesn't know about the suicide forest. That's what I mean. He doesn't know who Logan Paul really is. He knows the name Logan Paul. He knows the fighter Logan Paul. He knows the internet celebrity Logan Paul. He just doesn't know who Logan Paul really is. So that's what I meant by that. But hey, I gave him a like. Let's refresh this just to see where the like to dislike ratio is. Let's give it a refresh. So there you go. 10,000 likes to less than 600 dislikes. A massive win. And it's got 61,000 views in the first hour. It's going to be a big video. It's going to be a big video right there. So there we go. Good stuff indeed. Okay, let me see how you guys are doing. If I can get my chat pulled up. There we go. So overall, I give it it was a very good interview. It was a very good interview, and it's good for President Trump, which is all I care about. That's the only thing I care about, is it's good for President Trump. Let's see here. I've got to, I got another stream that I'm doing a little bit later tonight, but I'm going to talk with all of you. So again, if you guys are just tuning in, my Twitter account, if some of you missed this, it's because my Twitter account is locked right there. My Twitter account is locked. I can't tweet. I can't like tweets. I can't respond to DMs. And it's all because I made fun of Disney Star Wars. I posted a meme on the Star Wars Twitter account. I responded to them. I ratioed them. They hid the reply, and I got reported for that. I think I got mass flagged for that. And so my Twitter account is locked. All I did is post. You can go to my account right now, and you can see the meme that I posted. All right? They're fully clothed, but it doesn't matter. Twitter allows that. It's two women from an adult video, and they are scissoring. And it says Disney's the Acolyte. Two strong women creating a baby with the Force. That's the meme that got me in trouble and locked out of my Twitter account. So there you go right there. So I can't tweet. So that's where we are. So much for free speech on Twitter, I guess. I've tweeted that picture a lot, too. So it ain't like that's the first time I've tweeted it, okay? So that's why you didn't see me go live on Twitter, or you didn't get, notification or anything like that. Let's see. Okay. I'm setting up Black Ops stream for later tonight. Let's see. OG. Black Ops OG. So I'll set that stream up, and then I don't know what time I'm doing that stream yet. But yeah, we are playing OG Black Ops tonight over on my D-Day Cobra 199 channel. Probably going to be around 9 p.m. I think I'll just set it for 9. I might change that time. Yeah, Raven, that's why I wasn't live on Twitter. Exactly. All right, let's read some super chats. See what you guys have to say here in the chat. Where are we at? James up, I got that one. G&G Play Moments, I got that one. Grant, I got that one. Jonathan Bordeaux says, still waiting for Trump to be on Hot Ones. That would be really good. That would be really good. Nagranal says, Trump is a rock star. This is huge. Regardless of what Logan thinks, Trump looks great. Biden can barely talk without pooping himself. And that right there, that's what we have to remember. Biden won't do an interview with Logan Paul. There's no way he's going to be able to do an interview with Logan Paul. So Trump doing one with Logan Paul and coming off looking very relatable, very relaxed, a massive win for Trump. Massive win. Donut Lord says Logan Paul is a cliche douchebag. I saw Godzilla -1. It was awesome. Also, hail chat and the 199 and the big Cobra. Terry for $1, thank you. Primarch Vulcan says, yes, the Caitlin Collins town hall, the town hall that gave us the greatest soundbite ever from Trump on the dog named Vagina. Linko Kenobi for 20 says, what's up, Jeremy? So far, I'm watching this interview, and it's boring, obviously. Logan Paul doesn't really know what questions to ask Trump. Anyways, looking forward to hopping in with you guys in Black Ops. Hail the 199. Thank you, Linko Kenobi. I don't know if we're going to have it open to like the chat tonight again. We're kind of just running a test stream to kind of see what we can do with the private lobbies. Because it is on Xbox 360, so I'm not really sure how it's all going to work. Disco Cobra says, you think Logan is authentic with platforming Trump, or do you view it as a more of a clout move? Some have changed their stance over the years. I don't think Logan Paul cares about anything or anybody but himself. And while that's not inherently a terrible thing, because a lot of successful people think that same way, I just don't think that Logan Paul is a true, I don't think he's a Trump supporter per se. I think he goes with whatever way the wind blows. Let's see. Juan Pablo says, these rhinos suck balls. Juan Pablo, that's the same one I had to answer earlier. Cattle Dog says, I can't stand these douchebags in their grift, but it's good for Trump is trying to reach out to the Zoomers and expand the base. I agree completely. James Hop says, fentanyl took my brother and his wife the same night. 2 kids orphaned. So that stuff hits me hard. Damn, bro. I am sorry to hear that. That is terrible. Crystal D says, I'm 35 minutes behind live feed, but Tim got 15 minutes with Trump is because that time was at the convention, and Tim won't go to Mar-a-Lago to get more time. Yeah, will Tim just not go? Because that's a weird kind of situation for Tim not to go to Mar-a-Lago. That would be, I mean, if that's true, that's on Tim. Dave Poole, hail the 199. Let's see. Caustic says, not a fan of Logan Paul, but he asked better questions than anything you'll see in the mainstream debates. This is a big win for Logan Paul. Let's go. Felon 47. I do agree. Again, now that we're on the other side of it, I can kind of get past my dislike of both of those guys and say it was the whole picture, it's a really good interview, and it looks good for Trump, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to look good for Logan Paul as well. Hail the Lord says, they can't stop Trump and the love we have for this country in the year 2024. If you aren't voting for Trump, you are against America. Free D-Day Cobra. Thank you. Ron Cook says, I see beep. Beep in the chat, Christinova. Craig Morning says, hit the like button or you're a Biden diaper clean, or you're on Biden diaper cleaning duty. You better hit the like button, peeps. Trump 2024. 8 o'clock says, I'll never forgive the time Logan ruined American tourist for Japan. Now a lot of YouTubers go there to be trolls. Yep, PewDiePie covered that, actually. Pewds covered that. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, wow, Disney is soft, can't piss memes, post memes of Star Wars. Sad but true. Alan Tanasi says, I already made this joke, but what does this Star Wars get late at night? A deep fake, as this is not real Star Wars. 1000%. Ocean Breeze Salty. 100% right, Jeremy. I don't like the guy either, but a total win for Trump, that's what counts. That's what counts. I consider this in recent, this is one of the best Trump interviews for him, probably in a long time, actually. This was for him because of the demographic, because of the following Logan Paul has, because of all those things that are tied to this. That's why it's a huge win for Trump. And, of course, Trump did what Trump always does. He connected with the guy. I think it took Trump a little while to kind of understand, what are these guys all about? What are they up to? What are they doing? But once he really started to get comfortable with them, it was a really good interview after that. Dr. Phil interview was very good. That was a very good one, too, for different reasons. Let's see. East Coast Toasted Boy says, you got banned? Fuck Elon. I mean, look, it's not... Honestly, we all know Elon ain't a big fan of Disney Star Wars either, so... I got mass flagged. I'm fairly certain I got mass flagged. And again, this is where people have to understand the support we get from people is huge, because there are hundreds and hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people that are gunning for us all the time. So I'm fairly certain I got mass flagged, and that's why my Twitter account was locked. And it's just a system in place. When you have that many tweets, that many interactions, that many accounts, you're going to have some type of bot system there in place, and it can be abused, and I'm fairly certain that I got mass flagged. Hayden Wayne says, we have to get D-Day Cobra Twix unlocked. Jeremy can't see my super straight waifu shelves until he can get back his Twix. Sad. Hashtag free D-Day Cobra signal. Boost it. Yes, Signal boost it. Well, I mean, I do have the, let me see if I can find it. Right here. I do have the CobraCast account right here. So if you guys can follow this account. This is where I tweeted out, Twitter lock D-Day Cobra's account for being mean to Disney Star Wars. And right here, violating our rules against abuse and harassment. It was a fucking meme. I didn't say anything. I think I said Disney Star Wars is dead. That's all I said. There was 2 different posts that they got me for, and it was hidden. Star Wars hid one of the posts already on their account. So that's what it is. It's so stupid. But yeah, you guys can at least follow the CobraCast account if you want to. And it's so stupid. It's so dumb. Let's see. William 45 says, this was a huge win for MAGA. It really does feel like the wind is starting to change, but we can't slow down. 28-3. As a matter of fact, thank you for saying that, William, because can I still access my bookmarks? Let me see if I can access my bookmarks. I don't know if I can. Can I access bookmarks? Okay, I can. This right here, this is one of the greatest speeches in Hall of Fame history, and I quote tweeted it, and I said, people with pronouns in their bio need to hear this. The great Tom Brady, the GOAT. Every single person with pronouns in their bio needs to hear this right here.
Whatever makes them happy makes me happy. I would encourage everyone to play football for the simple reason that it is hard. It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. It's hard when you're on your way to practice, weighed down with all your gear, and it's 90 degrees out and all the other kids are at the pool or at the beach, and your body is already completely exhausted from workouts in 2-a-days. It's hard to throw, catch, block, and tackle, and hit kids when they're way bigger and way more developed than you, only to go home that night bruised and battered and strained, but knowing you have to show up again the next day for just the chance to try again. But understand this, life is hard. No matter who you are, there are bumps and hits and bruises along the way. And my advice is to prepare yourself, because football lessons teach us that success and achievement come from overcoming adversity, and that team accomplishment far exceeds anyone's individual goals. To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts. If you look at all my teammates here tonight, it would be impossible to find better examples of men who embody that work ethic, integrity, purpose, determination, and discipline that it takes to be a champion in life.
Well fucking said. The GOAT speaks, and he says it perfectly. You don't have to be special to be successful. You just have to do what most people aren't willing to do. And life is hard. It doesn't matter who you are. Life is hard. It just is. And that is something that a lot of these weirdos on social media, they seem to think that they're the only ones with a hard life. It's only me that has a hard life. Life is hard in general. But quit acting like you have a specifically hard life because you are this or you identify as that. It's absolute nonsense. I'm so tired of all these fucking clowns. But I miss Tom Brady being in the NFL. He is definitely the greatest of all time, no doubt about that. Elsa Barrett says, Jeremy, if you got to interview Trump, would you wear a suit? More than likely. I mean, again, I used to wear suits all the time when I worked in retail. When I was in management, I had to wear suits. I wore shirt and tie all the time. So I would probably dress pretty. I would probably dress for the occasion. Yeah, out of respect for President Trump. out of respect for President Trump. Lance Finn says streaming is harder, to be honest. Sam says, I would love to see Chris and Nova do food videos for Geeks and Gamers Life. Krista could talk about the best Canada food of all time. Top 10 Canada food. I like it. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. I wore a shirt and tie for that episode of Friday Night Tights. I didn't even have a hat on. Remember that? Well, I don't remember the episode that was. Was it episode 200 maybe? I can't remember. But I did. I wore that for Friday Night Tights. So let me see. Okay. So we are going to we're going to call this here soon. I do have so we're going to try to get this Black Ops stream going tonight. I don't know how successful the stream is going to be, but I've got it set for 9 p.m. We may move that up a little bit. We'll just have to see. Tweeted Tone says, I remember the 100K 24-hour hatless Jeremy stream. Holy shit. 24 hours. I remember that. When we hit 100,000 subscribers over on Geeks and Gamers. 24-hour stream over there. Absolutely insane. Jeremy, try to get unblocked, bro. I mean, I think I already went ahead and agreed to whatever their bullshit is. So I'm still locked out for, I don't know, is it 12, 24 hours, something like that. So I'll be back at some point in time. We'll see. But the thing is laughable. The whole situation is just laughable. So I will be back. But in the meantime, you can follow the CobraCast account if you want. And again, that is at CobraCast199 right there. So if you guys want to, you can go follow that account. But thank you guys so much. This was a fun stream. And like I said, I was very critical of the interview as we were going along into it. But once we got on the other side of it, it became pretty obvious that, yeah, it was a good interview for Trump. And it was a good interview for Logan Paul and his audience. And so I'll give credit where credit's due. Aaron says, bro does tattoos if you want help with the brow game. I have eyebrows. I just have light features. I'll be okay, though. I'll be okay. But let's see if we're caught up there. Thank you for everybody over on Rumble, on Kick. And look at all those members on Kick because of Doug B yesterday. All those members on Kick. Razor's Edge says, thumbs up for Jeremy, guys. Yeah, give it a thumbs up. And if you guys are interested, we will be streaming Black Ops, OG Black Ops, private lobbies, me and some people on the team. I don't know how many people are going to be there. I hope it works pretty good, and we're just doing a test run to kind of see how it all works, and hopefully this will be more streams to come. But thank you guys so much. Really do appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and this is going to raid the CobraCast or the D-Day Cobra 199 stream that we'll be streaming Black Ops on a little bit later tonight. Love you all. Trump 2024, and we will talk to you later. You guys want Sabaton? You guys want Sabaton? Fine, you get Sabaton. We listen to the audience around here. Bye, everyone.
All embrace me. It's my time to rule at last. 15 years have I been waiting.
right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hope you have a great night. And this will raid the Black Ops stream so you guys can continue the conversation over there. And I'll see you in a few hours, and we'll get this party started over there. Bye, everyone.